Hello, friends, fiends, and fellow UBTubers, and welcome to episode 802 of the Daily Comic and Collectible. Today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys, Marvel Comics, Marvel Legends series, Zabu Build-A-Figure Wave, Wolfsbane action figure. A member of the New Mutants, Rain trains with Professor Xavier to master her powers of lycanthropy. This 1/12 scale action figure of Wolfsbane was designed and inspired directly by her character in the Marvel XMEN comic books. This 6-inch scale action figure features a premium design with sculpted deco and finely detailed hand painting, making this a great addition to your Marvel Mutant menagerie. Collectors will love this display-worthy action figure with their collection that features over 20 points of advanced articulation with fully posable head, arms, and legs for dynamic poses and intricate displaying in your X-Men Mutant Marvel collection. This officially licensed Marvel masterpiece comes equipped with one extra pair of interchangeable hands and a Build-A-Figure piece. You can collect the set to create your very own Marvel's Zabu action figure. This Wolfsbane action figure comes in a full window display box and was released in 2024 by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is X Factor, Volume 1, Issue number 96, with a cover date of November 1993, with story by J.M. DeMatteis, art by Greg Luzniak, and cover by Greg Luzniak. This story is titled, In the Beginning. The story opens somewhere where a figure is rising from a golden smoke and exclaims, 3/4 of the world will die in flood, fire, and plague. But from the ashes of the old, an age of perfection, sustained by hatred and greed and violence. How do I know this? He shows me. And I see. Meanwhile, at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., a magnetic bubble with 5 extraordinary beings inside is propelled downward through rubble. I can't believe it. The fire, the devastation, says Polaris, as she uses her incredible power to move her X-Factor teammates downwards. Havoc points out that there's still plenty of people trapped inside, and so he asks that the bubble comes down gently. An instant later, they land. Alex then tells his friends and teammates to get to work. Forge and Havoc meet after Havoc finally tracks him down, angry that Forge prevented them from going to Genosha to help the X-Men. Not to mention why someone in the government hired Random to assassinate Polaris. Forge explains that something big is brewing, which is why everything else must be put on hold. Later that night, Polaris has trouble dealing with what she saw at the Kennedy Center. However, she's interrupted by Wolfsbane, who explains that she returned from Muir Island because the pull to Havoc was just too strong. Polaris tries to reason with Wolfsbane, but Wolfsbane is just too upset. Elsewhere, Strong Guy is trying to relax also, when he's suddenly visited by 3 different multiple man duplicates, each with varying personalities. 2 of them squabble with each other, while the third encourages Strong Guy to go to the bar with him, while the true multiple man sits in bed and feverishly reads the book Man, Mutants, and the New Humanity. Polaris goes for a walk in the rain and thinks about everything going on at the moment, worried about all the hate and prejudice in the world, when she's suddenly attacked by some armed agents who use powerful technology on her in an attempt to take her out. But Polaris resists and threatens to kill them, until suddenly she's transported away by a mysterious woman who is preparing for the new age, an age of hope for man, mutant, and the new humanity. This story is continued in The X Factor, Volume 1, Issue number 97. Geek Fact. This issue is a key issue featuring the first appearance of Haven, whose real name is Radha Dastur. Bonus Geek Fact. Multiple Man Jamie Madrox goes to the infected mutate 24601 and gives him mouth-to-mouth to help save his life in X Factor, issue number 91, back in June of this same year. However, due to his inability to just watch somebody die, he himself contracts the legacy virus. Another bonus geek fact. The legacy virus was a devastating plague that ripped through the mutant population, killing hundreds before mutating so as to be deadly to baseline humans. It was eventually cured almost overnight, thanks to the sacrifice of XMEN member Colossus. State-of-the-art gaming!
Play it if you dare!
Few have faced Dracula and survived. Now it's your turn. Based on Columbia Pictures' blockbuster thriller, Bram Stoker's Dracula goes straight for the jugular. Photorealistic graphics, camera rotation, digitized scenes from the film, and an awesome digital soundtrack on the CD version plunge you deep into cold, dark dungeons, crawling with spiders and packs of bloodthirsty rats. On every platform, you'll experience thrilling gameplay and battle your way through treacherous mountains and fortresses of Transylvania to Castle Dracula. And just like in the movie, the evil Prince of Darkness will rise and attack as a bat, a wolf, even an old man. But whatever form Dracula takes, make no mistake, he must be stopped. Available for all Nintendo and Sega platforms. Only by Sony.
Oh my god, Cat Fan. Look at that comic. It's just so big. It looks like one of those graphic novels or something. Who understands those graphic novels anyway? I can't believe how thick it is. It's just so square. I bet it's just so full of facts. I like my facts and I cannot lie. You other channels can deny. So when a comic comes in, written with taste, square thing in your face, you get sprung. Oh, comic, I wanna read ya and see your pictures. Catfan tried to warn me, but facts you got makes me so happy. I've got 2 facts in the middle and a final on back. 2 facts in the middle and a final on back. 2 facts in the middle and a final on back. 2 facts in the middle and a final on back.
Born into a wealthy family in the midst of poverty-stricken Bombay, India, Haven spent her life surrounded by the dichotomy of her own family's wealth and the utter poverty of the people living in the streets around her. While her father was a Hindu and her mother was a Zoroastrian, they taught her all of the major religions and encouraged her to embrace the prophets of these religions. When she became old enough to see the disparity around her, she began praying, seeking a way to rectify the glaring differences she saw. She eventually came to the conclusion that there were no differences and that she would spend her life helping those in need. She earned the name Haven while helping the poor children in Calcutta. Eventually, she met a man she felt she loved, and despite her upbringing, she gave into her passion. Though she genuinely loved the man, he grew weary of her and would later abandon her. Soon after this, she found she was pregnant. As the baby grew within her, she began receiving messages of a rebirth the world would undergo, called the Mahapralaya, an event that would see 3/4 of the world's population perish, but would ultimately result in a new breed of humanity rising up and taking control. As she was receiving these messages, she also began exhibiting the powers she would later utilize in her quest. Unwilling to wait for the Mahapralaya to happen on its own, she dedicated her organization to bringing about the disasters that would hasten the event. Her operatives actively incited political unrest, riots, revolts, and even wars, as well as causing disasters like earthquakes, floods, and plagues. When Forge first ordered X-Factor to stop her, Polaris opposed the plan at first, having been saved from a government attack force by Haven. When X-Factor finally invaded her base, Val Cooper had become the newest convert to her movement. In order to further convince X-Force of her cause, she healed Wolfsbane of her imposed psychic bond with Havoc, a remnant of her imprisonment on Genosha. Her organization was then destroyed by X-Factor and Haven's brother Monsoon, who had conspired with Val Cooper to bring down his sister. Destur later discovered that her child was actually the adversary. She was then killed after its birth. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again Monday, the day before my birthday. This is Cut Fun Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip, baby. Over and out.